Hey guys, my name's Jeff. I'm the founder of Evolve Skateboards, and today I am super excited to unveil our latest electric skateboard technology, the GTR series. There are two boards in this series. There's a bamboo version and there's a carbon version. Both these boards are a 100% ground up design from our previous products, as well as this is a whole new era for us here at Evolve Skateboards. Our main focus for these two boards have been about durability and build quality, overhauling the entire electric system, ensuring that the performance is second to none. And of course, the ride experience. We want to make sure that you're going to be grinning from ear to ear after you've ridden one of these boards. Welcome to our Evolve China operations. This is a 3,000 square meter factory designed by us about 2.5 years ago. This factory has allowed us to streamline all of our operations by allowing us to control all the materials that go into making up our skateboards, as well as allowing us to assemble and quality control all under the one roof. It's also our global distribution facility. Let's have a closer look. So how about we take a closer look into how these bad boys are actually made? So let's have a look at what's inside the box. Open her up. So this is our Carbon GTR. Take the board out. As you can see, she's in pristine condition here. So with every box also comes an Evolve hardware pack. This is where you keep all your remote, charger, tools, manuals. You can hold on to it and take it anywhere. So let's talk about build quality, firstly starting with the decks. The Carbon GTR deck is a brand new mold. The shape is similar to the old GT, however, we've strengthened it up through the shoulders. We've had to make the cavity a little deeper because we've got a brand new electric system. It needs to fit inside perfectly. Aesthetically, we've changed it slightly. We've gone for a matte finish, which has given it like a really sort of Batman stealthy vibe. And we've put a hexagonal grip tape pattern for ultimate grip when you're hooking in. So we are here in our carbon deck factory at the moment, and this is our carbon deck mold. What's happening here is each deck is actually being made by hand. So you're getting the carbon fiber layers and it's being pushed into the shape of the Carbon GTR deck. The next process is both of the molds are sandwiched together to form one deck. Once all the decks have been made, the next step here is it comes to this machine. It's fully compressed and it's heated at the same time to about 100 degrees. Once it's heated, the next step it moves down to another machine where it's cooled down to about 18 degrees, and that's where it sets. Alright, so this deck has come freshly out of the mold. As you can see, it's still untreated. You can see all the resin and bits of carbon fiber hanging over the edge. So the next step here is they've got to trim all the edges down. It gets all sanded back, and then it goes through a clear coating process.
Right? Yeah, that's spot on.
Okay, so here you have it. This is the finished product. The next step is packaging, then it's sent to our factory, ready for final assembly. The Bamboo GTR deck is a brand new shape and construction. We've formed new relationships with one of the best manufacturers there is to bring this new deck to the market. The deck has a classic longboard look, with black grip tape running along the concave edges and clear grip tape running through the center of the board. The new deck construction has given the Bamboo GTR a beautiful flex underfoot when riding. We've also added a few extra truck holes into the deck, which allows the rider to adjust their wheelbase so they can further customize their ride. So we're here today visiting our new bamboo deck supplier. We want to check out our GTR deck production, and we want to get a bit of an insight into actually how these decks are made. So the way the bamboo GTR decks are made is we use 3 layers of vertically laminated bamboo ply, and we have 2 layers of our fiberglass. So what happens is we put glue between each of the layers, and then these get sandwiched and taken over to our mold, in which they're completely pressed together, and then it goes over to the next stage. There you have it, folks. The finished product. Perfect. So this is the final deck. Production's finished. We're about to send a few thousand of these to our final assembly factory to continue on with the production. So when it comes to the trucks, we are still using the same supercar truck. However, we have made them way stronger. Originally, our supercar trucks were made by the gravity casting process, whereas now we're using forged. Each truck is pretty much bashed into shape under extreme heat and pressure, which results in a huge increase in strength. This has definitely allowed us to make the strongest trucks possible. These have resulted in a stronger truck than using any kind of CNC machine. So here we have some fresh forged truck parts. These have just been sent to us. As you can see, there's the base plate, there's the arm. These are fresh from the forge factory. What happens next is these go straight into our CNC machine. One of the things that we've invested here at Evolve is that we've got 3 CNC machines. These machines allow us to control all the materials that go into making our product, such as our motor plates. We also use these machines to make molds, and this has really refined our whole manufacturing process. It's a great investment. So here's a comparison of the forged truck compared to after it's been CNC'd and surface treated. As you can see, it's completely different. It's very precise. You have all the holes that have been drilled, the kingpins in. But one thing to note with the surface treatment is that it's really hard to scratch. Any marks on it, it can just wipe straight off. So really, it should keep new for a long time. All the GTR street boards now come with brand new 97mm wheels made in USA. No matter how good your board performs, the urethane used in your wheels defines your riding experience. Alright, so we're here at A&D Industries. We're seeing our wheel manufacturer right now. Want to have a bit of a look at their factory, see how the wheels are made, talk a little bit about tech and the urethane, and a closer look into how these are made.
How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. This formula, your formula, is the best combination of rebound and grip. So we keep the same speed of the wheel and we get more grip.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat that. That's like, in chemist lingo, it's like the nirvana of a urethane. And so that's why you have really the highest end inline race formula that we've ever developed.
Made in USA.
Absolutely.
And that's what we've been searching for the whole time. Ever since we started Evolve, it's always been about the carve, how does it feel underfoot, and man, you got to have the right formula under your feet.
Yeah.
And we've had all those old Chinese wheels. We've done it all before. But it just doesn't compare to that nice USA grippy sort of beautiful smooth sort of formula.
Yeah.
So
it's a unique formula. It's one we just developed here in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's been out there forever. A new one for Neil. Neil is the one of the founders of Hyper Corporation.
Right.
So he's been developing formulations for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
To be honest.
On all of our GTR series boards, we are now using the best bearings possible, that being precision ceramic bearings. We want to make sure that the wheels roll smooth, they have little resistance, and they perform the best they can. Now that we've talked about build quality, let's have a look at what's under the hood. Each carbon deck has now its own silicone seal. This seal helps prevent any moisture from entering through the battery compartment area. We've also added protective cases for both the battery structure as well as the motor controller. This helps protect the electric system even further, but also it looks super clean and organized. The Bamboo GTR battery and motor controller also has its own protective cases. Each case is made from glass-filled nylon plastic, which is designed for maximum durability. We've also added an O-ring seal inside each case, which helps prevent any moisture from entering the unit. One of the cool things that we've designed for the Bamboo GTR is we've got two dual USB ports. These ports can power a range of different accessories, such as our new LED prism strips, which we'll talk about in more detail later in this video. So let's talk about the electrics. The battery that is powering our GTR series boards is a 10S 4-piece Samsung battery. We call this the PowerFlex battery. We've been working on this battery now for around 2 years, and the most unique thing about this battery is that there are no wires on the battery construction at all. This makes it very safe and a very clean and organized battery structure. Not only that, we've designed it so it flexes with the skateboard deck. So we're here today visiting our battery supplier to check on the new PowerFlex GTR battery. It's been a long time in the making. We're just making sure the production is on track and everything's all good. Let's do it.
Sweet.
Okay, so what we have here is we've got our existing batteries that we use for our GTX and Carbon GT boards here, and we've got our new PowerFlex battery here. The biggest thing that you can see straight away aesthetically is that we're using different cells in the PowerFlex, which are the 18650 versus the flat pack cells. And the other thing you can really notice that stands out is that on the flat pack cells, there's a bunch of wires that run all the way down the side of the battery that connect each individual cell pack to make it one complete unit. And so this is the technology and the direction that we've been going with our new PowerFlex pack. The first thing you notice is that there's no wires on the pack at all. As you can see, aesthetically it looks rad. So one of the biggest differences is that the new battery structure can flex a lot compared to the existing batteries that we use now. And we'll give you a quick example. So as you can see, there's a lot of flex there, and if your skateboard's doing that, you've got some serious trouble, I think. So we actually wanted to use these 18650 cells for our Carbon GT board, and that was back in 2014 when we first, around about when we launched that, when we started designing it. And basically, you know, at the time, you know, we did have some issues with the structure of it, although the cells are fantastic, but the way we put the battery pack together itself just wasn't quite right. And we needed to make thousands and thousands of these skateboards, and we couldn't guarantee if we were going to use that structure that it'll work and be 100% safe for our customers. So we stuck with what we knew, which were our flat pack cells. And they've served us great. They've been a great battery. Range has been fantastic. We've had very little issues with them. However, now in the background, we've been getting the structure right, and yeah, we're pretty stoked to be releasing the PowerFlex battery in the new GTR series boards. And if ever we need to, you know, if we ever have a faulty pack, we can just unsolder it. Come straight off. We can put the next one back on. It's a very good design.
So these sort of act like an electronic circuit breaker. So if these ever trip, it has an automatic self-recovery function. So if it trips, it'll trip, and then the software will basically turn it back on so that it will always protect the BMS and the cells. So it's protecting any of the current that comes through the circuit printing.
Yeah, so it's never going to short and burn out.
This PCB is a ground up design. Like, we've created this from scratch. And the whole purpose for this is we're just trying to make the best battery we can, the best technology, the best range, and again, easy and safe. Easy to maintain and very safe. We're just getting ready to launch our GTR series. So we're here at the battery factory. We'll run you through some of the process at the moment in terms of how the packs are fully assembled. So right here, I'll press the green button, get it going. So what we have is our cell jacks. They're all being spot welded in large quantities. So doing it this way with the machine, it can do many cell packs pretty quickly. Once they've been spot welded, what happens is we take them out and we put all the spot welded packs on this rack. The next process from here, it goes straight over to the girls. The girls take the packs and then they assemble them onto the PCBs. So once all the cell packs have been put onto the PCBs, the next step is we pop rivet the cell jackets to the PCBs. So that secures them in place and it means that they never come loose from the packs. Moving down the line, we then solder all the tabs onto the PCB so it turns into one complete functional battery. The next step is moving down the line, we then put the BMSs onto the battery packs. Once the BMS is on the battery packs, they then move down the line and we give it one final test just to make sure the whole battery actually works.
We're basically testing the strength out of this PCB. So by vibrating it, we're ensuring that this PCB is not going to sustain any damages or cracks after multiple vibrations. What we're doing, we're simulating countless hours and countless vibrations through rough riding.
So yeah, we've just put the battery through the stress test. There's no way this battery itself is ever going to be kind of ridden like that, especially because it sits within a case. The case protects it a lot more. So once the vibration test is complete, the next step is we discharge and then recharge the battery 2 times over. Once that's done, we let the battery store for 7 days. During that time, each day we check to make sure the cells are still balanced and no voltages have gone out of whack. Once we've got the tick here, the last step is we just turn the battery on, we give it one last charge. As long as it's all good, we then send her over to packing for us to then assemble in our skateboards. The BMS we're using on the PowerFlex battery is a 100% ground up design. We've completely customized the BMS with all new software and have added various safety protections such as thermal indicators as well as current overload protections. It certainly is a safe BMS. It allows maximum current. We can control all the parameters really well with the structure of the PCB and the cells, and it's also taken us a long time to custom design the software for this. So we've had so many different versions of the software to make this battery work with our motor controller, so the product is just bang on.
One of the things that all electric skateboards have to deal with is voltage drop, or as referred to in the community is battery sag. What this means is that the more current applied to the battery to run the motors through a motor controller, the voltage is going to drop accordingly. So a high current draw in what we call GT and GTR modes, you're going to get a lower voltage in the battery at that time. To combat this with the new GTR model, we've changed the firmware and software through the BMS and the motor controller to change how it actually reads the remaining battery capacity. What this results in is an accurate incremental battery display that drops down 1% at a time all the way down to 0% and doesn't fluctuate with the load applied to the battery. We're going to show that on this hill here and show that the percentage drops down nice and easily. So we're currently at 97%. We're in GTR mode on an all-terrain board and we're going to go up this hill. So it's dropped to 96%. So you can see we've dropped 1% on the hill. During that ride, the percentage hasn't actually fluctuated at all. It's simply dropped from 97 to 96 at the top of the hill.
So while we're still talking about batteries, in the past, we've had many people ask us, can they take their skateboards with them on their planes when they travel? So we have a solution for this, and we have a battery specifically designed for this purpose. Here we have a Sony 4.2 AH 152 watt-hour battery. The current aviation rules are, if you have a battery that exceeds 100 watt-hours but doesn't go above 160, you're allowed to take 2 of these batteries with you as carry-on per person. However, you have to get airline approval prior to flying. The good news is, this battery can easily be swapped out with the larger Samsung battery, and it's available for both the Bamboo GTR and the Carbon GTRs. Moving down the board, we get to the motor controller. The new GTR motor controller is again a 100% ground up design. We've focused the motor controller to be stronger and to be able to handle even more current than ever before. Another thing that we've changed here is that we've moved away from the Wi-Fi signal to now a Bluetooth communication. And the result is when you pull the trigger, you get an instant responsive, super smooth control.
那更可靠啊，对吧？原来不是两块板对插的吗？
Like the most important change in this is the fact that we've got that Bluetooth chip.
We've also customized all of the power cables across the entire GTR electric system. We customized these to be durable, to be water resistant, and to be 100% custom to the Evolve brand. The controller, along with the battery PCB, BMS and the motors have all been treated with a surface protection spray to further protect from moisture. Now onto the R2 remote. The R2 has also had an overhaul. Firstly, it uses a Bluetooth communication, and we've got a signal strength indicator that's located on the screen. We've also got a larger battery in the remote now, which will last around 11 to 12 hours per charge. And we've introduced a new power save feature. We've also brought back the battery percentage reading. The good news here is the battery percentage reading is now true and an accurate representation of exactly what's happening with the battery inside your board. Whether you're just cruising or you're hard accelerating, it will always be a true and accurate representation. Plus, the remote now comes in 4 colors. We've also made a few adjustments to the GTR motors. Firstly, the internal motor shaft is using a stronger material and it's precision CNC'd for best performance. We've also added heat sensors inside the motors, which act as thermal protections, and we've added air vents that also assist for cooling. So let's talk performance specs of the GTR series. Firstly, when it's set up in the street mode, it will do up to about 42 kilometers per hour. And as for range, it will do up to 50 kilometers real world riding per charge. When it's set up in the all-terrain mode, it will do up to about 36 kilometers per hour and range of 30 kilometers per charge real world riding. As for how steep an incline this can go up, any hill it will eat. In fact, we've been up the steepest street in the world once again.
Right, we're at Baldwin Street. Me and Nick are here.
Steeper than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Looks like a wall.
Oh yeah, 20 kilo difference, so I'm definitely expecting Nick to beat me up there first.
Go.
Let's do it.
Whoa! Really steep. Jeff behind me.
Come on, baby!
Killed him.
This is it, the last hurdle. 90%, started at 97. Hasn't even moved. Jeez, it's steep looking down, it's scary.
So when the GTR boards are fitted with the travel-friendly battery, the range is reduced. When it's set up in the street mode, you'll get about 12 to 15 Ks per charge. When it's set up in the all-terrain mode, you will get around 8 to 10 Ks per charge. However, the top speed is exactly the same as if you were using the bigger battery. The only thing that could be seen as a negative with the GTR series boards is the weight. It is about 1 kilo heavier than the previous GT models. However, there's a reason for this. These boards are stronger, they're tougher, they have a much bigger battery. And when you look at the bigger picture here, this is all about performance, and performance matters. The GTR series boards didn't come about overnight. It took a long time to get it to this point. We broke these boards many times, and there's been many revisions of every single part.
So let's talk about the development process for the GTR series. There are 2 main things that we had to consider: the hardware of the product as well as the software. The hardware process was a 3-step approach. Step 1, we sat down with engineers and discussed the physics of the board. Where was it taking the most stress? Where was it going to break? Step 2, we made prototypes based on these specs. And step 3, we took these prototypes and rode them in real life scenarios. We rode them and we broke them. Then we looked at where they broke and how we can strengthen it. We did this for countless iterations before we got to where we are now. So for the software, it was a very similar process. We had to consider three things: the R2 remote, the motor controller, as well as the battery management system. All three went through numerous iterations before we got to where we are. The R2 had 22 different iterations, the motor controller had 57, and the battery management system had 49 versions before we had the final product.
We are here at our quality control factory and we are putting the GT Carbon series boards and the Bamboo series boards through its paces. We are setting up our jig for the vibration machine test. We've got our Carbon GTR all set up. This machine absolutely hammers the vibration through the whole board. You can program it to however many vibrations you want per second. So we're just going to work out all the parameters for this at the moment. But we are going to hammer this board. We're going to keep it on here and see what it can do and see how it holds up. And really it simulates thousands of hours of riding in a very short period of time. So what we're doing is going to go for 8-hour blocks. We're going to do that for 15 times. Works out to be 120 hours of simulation of vibration. However many hours you want to put that into in like real world riding, yeah, you do the maths. We're testing the strength of all our aluminium on our motor plates. It's a stress test machine. We've got our latest motor plate in there at 7075 aluminium, and what we're doing is going to be pulling it until it kind of breaks. The force it broke at was 41.3 kilonewtons. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our older GT motor plate in there and we'll compare. Alright, so we've just pulled out the second motor plate now. The machine stopped at 12.1 versus 41.3 for the 7075. So it's about 3.5 times stronger, the new material. Alright, so we've sacrificed this beautiful GTR Carbon board. As you can see, we've cut the ends off. And now we've just sort of kept the cavity. So what we're doing here is we want to put it into this moisture test machine, and we want to put it through its paces. Let's have a look. So at the moment, board's in there. We're going to put it in there for about 3 minutes. It's getting sprayed with water, both top and bottom. And pretty much what we're doing here is we just want to test out the seal that we have around the lip of the deck, and we'll see if it lets any water in or not. We'll see. It's dry. Completely dry apart from some funny footprints here. That's good. It's a good result. Right here, right now, we are batch testing the GTRs. We're randomly grabbing the newly assembled boards, so Carbon and Bamboo. And what we're testing here is acceleration, braking, making sure the R2 remote is working perfectly as it should, and just a general health check on the board. Let's have some fun. So what's the result when you get all of these performance parts and put them together to form one board? Evolve has always promised the ultimate ride. The GTR series is the best ride anyone can buy.
Yeah, man. Oh, it took my breath away.
You can see in the other reviews, but this thing is just, it's a different league. It's a different ball game.
It's smooth. I find the biggest difference is the smoothness.
Like the Bluetooth's great. Braking's ridiculous. Braking is beautifully smooth.
GTR Bamboo, in my honest opinion, is my favorite board right now. I think with the power, the battery, and all the bells and whistles that are inside the guts are exactly what everyone wants.
It's more accurate than the previous Carbon.
Oh, no way. Swappable battery packs.
Yeah. Now you can fly.
Oh!
Without
tick, tick, tick. Holy hell.
And even the Bamboo with the longer deck, the beautiful battery enclosure that it's got going on. Swappable batteries,
Is that USB?
Yeah, buddy.
What? Dual USB?
measures capacity, not voltage now.
Perfect.
It won't kick you back to ether.
It won't.
It never does.
Jeez.
It's got a percentage.
Yeah. It has a percentage?
Percentage
Wow.
bar, you can
This is so smooth, hey, the flex in it.
just feels so solid.
So used to recently opening up boards that are very similar, you know, that They all promise the same stuff, but you can tell here that every component is suited to the board.
Yeah.
It's not something off the shelf or whatever, it's got a purpose.
So all those people that do their hill tests, that go cranking up hills and compare, are going to go cranking up a hill and go, I've used 5% to get here. And it's gone 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in terms of percentages, performed exactly the same the whole way.
It just feels really good. The board's just solid. The remote feels more solid. Every piece of the board is just tight and clean, and it just feels awesome. And it has even more torque and a little bit more power in the battery too, which I'm really excited about.
The sleep function is cool, on and off. That's sick.
Yeah.
Percentage, your bars, Bluetooth.
Yep. Shows the signal strength.
Signal strength, GTR logo, that's really cool. Bigger battery?
Bigger battery, yeah.
Another thing that we've been working on for a long time now is the Evolve app. We call the app Explore by Evolve. The app is predominantly a GPS-based app, and you don't have to have an Evolve board to use it. Anyone can use it. So you can use the app to track your rides and data. You can pin your rides to a public map. You can also follow rides done by others. There is also a worldwide leaderboard in which you can see where you rank against the worldwide community. Believe me, this is a really fun feature and it is highly competitive. Specifically for the GTR users, there's a Bluetooth connection that has the ability to do over-the-air updates. And there's a special customization feature that allows the rider to dial in their power curve to the way they like to ride. This is just the beginning for the Explore app. We will continue modifying it, updating it as people begin to use it. Over the years, we have seen many Evolve customers personalize their boards. This has certainly inspired us to offer some kind of customization service to our customers. So, alongside the GTR release, we've created a brand new website, and there's a special feature in it called the Board Builder. The Board Builder will let you choose your deck, your battery size, your wheels, your wheel color, your hub color, the tires. There are over 300 different combinations to choose from. Plus, there are a bunch of other accessories that you can choose afterwards. This is a new feature for us here at Evolve, and we will certainly be looking for your feedback as to what you'd like to see put on the Board Builder in the future. So we've been working super hard behind the scenes, not only to bring out the best electric skateboard on the market, but we're trying to offer a bunch of cool accessories that go alongside. So let's start with these new LED light strips. We are calling these the Prism strips. These have a USB end connector. They go straight into the back of the motor controller, the USB port. There's 20 different colors. There's a heap of different modes, and they look awesome at night. We've also got colored remote options. There's blue, green, orange, black, all the Bluetooth remotes. We've got your travel-friendly battery options, as we talked about earlier. We've also got these 6-inch kits. So 6-inch tires, brand new drive gears, and belt sizes. These will fit on any Evolve board. And first for Evolve, we're doing a brand collaboration with 1000 Helmets. These guys are awesome. They're a USA brand. The helmets are just so comfortable, top-end quality, and they look awesome when you're wearing them. So as you can see, we've got a heap going on. We're going to continue to innovate and drive home electric skateboarding. Okay, so I think we've pretty much covered everything there is to know about the new GTR series. Apart from hearing the feedback from you guys, we cannot wait to see this come in. When you ride one of these boards, you feel the difference. Lastly, I just want to put a huge shout out to the entire team at Evolve Skateboards. There have been many people involved in the GTR project. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see what happens in the future.